Get ready for the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's time for the VooDoo Chef podcast, where we will discuss all things VooDoo from the VooDoo Studios located right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. So to all my booties out there, if you're looking for nothing but a good time, this is the place to be. Call your friends, knock on the neighbor's door, and let them know it's time to party like a rock star for the next hour. Join me and my guests and learn to VooDoo like we do as we discuss our faves and the VooDoo that we use. I'll put our guests on the spot as we ask for their top 3, and make sure and listen as we discuss some of our favorite war stories from the kitchens we've worked in. Sit back, grab a tall glass of your favorite libation, and enjoy this episode of the VooDoo Chef podcast.
What's going on, Big Eddie C?
Are we back?
I think we're back. As our directors would say, that's enough practice with the lens cap on.
All right. Now it says live up there. That's right.
Now it says live. We're practicing. We did a practice round. Guys, today's a great podcast. Local restaurateur Stephanie Swanz, owner of Muchachas, and Empamamas, coming in, hanging out and talking with us, talking all good things food, all good things Tampa Bay. But before we do that, Big Eddie C, dude, we got together this weekend. We strapped on the axes and had a little good time, man. Appreciate you coming over, hanging out, and getting back in the studio live like we do, man. It was a good time.
I enjoyed it, man. I mean, I was tired of shit when I left, and I was dead on my legs. And then as soon as I got home, I'm like, fuck, I got all this energy to blow out. So, of course, I stayed up and watched boxing until midnight.
I would love to say that I had that same energy, but I don't even remember opening this bottle.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right?
I remember it getting open. Yes, I do.
I think we polished off all the Hornitos, all the Herradura, all the Jack, and we got into the Woodford. That's a good night.
By somebody's standards, yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was. It was a good night. We had a blast playing all the old tunes, hanging out, having a good time. It was nice to see our old buddy Tony and new musical friend, longtime friend Mark Wakefield coming over and jamming. Just a super, super time. And can't thank you guys enough for coming hanging out.
It was fun, man.
We're going to have to do it again soon. I'm still trying to get everything back in place from that night because, everything has to go out so we can get the gear in when we do that. But it's well worth it, man. Well worth it.
It's fun.
What's going on, man? Oh man, we already got people checking in. Who's checking in here tonight?
Hi, Delia.
Delia's checking in. Can't wait to see you. I will take care of that tomorrow. I know I owe you some things. We'll clear that up tomorrow and get you. I hope you're watching from work. Make sure you turn it up real loud so all the people in the kitchen can hear us. And we can let them know that we're sitting at home on our ass while they're working tonight. Nothing but much love to all the guys out there at Rusty Pelican. Thanks for checking in. Big Eddie C, man, let's jump right to it, man. Let's talk weekly pop-up. What's going on, man? I've been kind of out of the loop. You said you had all the energy when you got home. I went in and went to bed, but the next day I just kind of did what I do, and I started watching TV, and I found myself watching a show that I thought from the intro was going to be all about chefs and cooking.
Mm.
But it wasn't.
You got bamboozled.
It was about humanity. And I found it quite entertaining, although it was quite disgusting. A movie that you recommended called The Platform.
The Platform. Okay.
Isn't that you watched that one, right? Where the little tray goes down through the prison and you eat off the tray?
No, I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, don't watch it.
No,
About the best thing that came out of that movie is that new Gordon Ramsay show, because I think that's where they stole the idea from.
No, Now I'm selective about what I spend my time watching. So
Me not so much.
yeah,
Not so much. I mean, except that blind date show. I do not watch that, and I will not be watching it this Friday when the new episodes come out. Not one iota.
I'll tell you what the big news for me is this week. It's not what is, it's what is not.
What is not?
And that which is not is the Olympics. Hallelujah. I just couldn't be bothered to give a shit. Now all of our regular programs are back on and my wife is happy again and not bitching. So
yeah, but our boy Vlad was tired that he wasn't getting much press, so he's trying to, I guess, get some press out there. We'll see what happens with that. That'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't take it all that seriously. I think it's just, corporate criminals playing with military weapons at this point, and eventually it'll boil down to money, and that's all it is.
Isn't that what it's all about?
It's money or power. That's generally the source of about 90% of human conflict. So that's the best I can tell you.
Conflict in my world today was the argument over it being Tuesday, and how can it really be Tuesday if there's a fucking 0 in it? But it was Tuesday all around school today, wasn't it, Lizanne, checking in?
I was there.
It was a great Tuesday, and even better was the in-service we had where it was a nice in-service ran by nice people. We'll just leave it at that. And I was just happy to be in attendance. All right, so hey, Big Eddie C, give me some water cooler talk. Give me some Big Eddie C top 5, whatever the fuck it is, the weekly pop-up that we do. So I don't sound too silly as I'm going around. What's going on out there other than the aforementioned, Olympics and Vlad? Anything else good?
No, I think hockey ramped back up. I don't think I don't know exactly what happened because I don't think that teams were I don't think players had to go play in the Olympics, but I think they took they took a break. So the Lightning will get ramping back up, trying to go for free. Basketball's been going on, but haven't really been all that interested. I think the most interesting thing in the world of hoops was the punch that Juwan Howard threw at the coach from Wisconsin.
Yeah, what was that about, man?
I don't know. I got to read about it. I think somebody had raw, salty feelings before that even happened, and I think it had something to do with one of them dogpiling the score. I'm not sure, but I didn't really catch up with it. Right before I got on today. The guy I had heard of who was a bigger figure in music passed away, kind of young. Mark Lanigan of Screaming Trees passed away today. He had a rough life, man. The guy's autobiography, he was a criminal. He was a teenager, got into a lot of drugs. And, even after you kick it, it's kind of like your hourglass is turned over. But he was a big guy in that Seattle music scene. Was very tight friends with Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley, both of whom passed early. But if you read about him, the guy did a lot. He had his hands in a lot of shit. And I saw them in Lollapalooza in '97 or '98. I forget where it was. It was the one in West Palm, and Metallica was the headliner. So I guess it was 90. Yeah, it had to be 97. And that was an interesting time right there. The color of my skin was kind of like this voodoo border. It was fucked up. So, and then of course, I'm sure you've been to some of those all day festival gigs, and they're always better in retrospect. And I remember I thought, I'm never going to do this fucking shit again. I'm never going to stand outside all day and get roasted and look like a lobster in a pot. And what did I do the following year? Go to Ozfest. But that time, I learned. I had this big ass bottle of. I swear the thing was the size of a mini keg of what do you call it? Sunscreen. and like SPF 95. And I had it hanging out of my pocket, and I used a lot of it. And then I had people come up and was like, dude, can I have some of that? And I'm thinking, yeah, okay. They were already red as the board.
Man.
What?
You should have sold it.
You know, if I'd been more enterprising, yeah, but I was kind-hearted, and I managed to only beat the shit out of one person that day who wouldn't let me get around them. So I couldn't beat the shit out. I choked the guy. I lifted him up off the ground and said, get the fuck out of my way.
You were practicing for your years at Chamberlain High School. That's all you were doing.
Yeah, it was a good internship.
I went to Monsters of Rock, but you had seats. The one festival type show I went to was Metallica with Priest and all those other people. Too hot, too fat. Never doing that again. And I don't think I ever will do that again.
Are you talking about the one at the fairgrounds?
Yeah, dude, it was horrendous, man.
Yeah, it was Metallica, Suicidal Tendencies, Fight, which was Halford Sullivan and Candlebox. That was the day in '94. That was the event that led me to 2 neck surgeries right there. Man. Because some little fuck came flying down from a crowd surfing, ass first into my neck, and it hurt, man. It almost broke my neck. It dislocated vertebrae, and I had to go to a chiropractor to get it moved back in, because by the time I went, all that shit had settled out. And he's like, I can fix it. It's going to take maybe 3 visits. He said, but you're probably on the downslide with neck shit. And so he was right.
Dude, that's fucked up. And that's why we don't go to festivals.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I don't get banged anymore.
Because we're old men. We need to go, like Angelina says. I like going to Ruth Eckerd Hall, Pops, but she doesn't call it Ruth Eckerd Hall. She says, I like going to old people concerts, Pop. I go, what's that? She goes, here at Ruth Eckerd Hall, they got the wider seats. It's air conditioned.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
It is. It's great.
And that's where we go see concerts now. Hey, before we get moving too long, we got to make sure we throw shout outs to our boys over at Flame Boss. This month we're doing Flame Boss February. Keep a lookout for a giveaway. We're giving away a Flame Boss VooDoo Chef packet. And, of course, aside from all the VooDoo Chef fun gimmicky stuff, the fucking seasonings you put on food and cook. Check this out. We got the Flame Boss Wi-Fi thermometer going inside that basket. We got the new hat and the old hat, and we got a couple of koozies over here. We'll throw some shirts in. We'll create a nice little package. Keep a lookout on our Instagram for that coming up real soon. We're going to throw that up there real soon, and you'll be able to enter to win that stuff. Grab all your VooDoo needs at VooDooChef.com. Our mission support the community through food and education. Education things are going rocking and rolling. High school recipe entries are all in. So the high school recipe challenge is complete, all except giving away the money. And of course, the VooDoo Chef High School Recipe Challenge, presented by Kaiser University, powered by the U.S. Coast Guard. We are giving away $10,000 in culinary scholarship to the winner. We are giving away $5,000 to the second place, and then who knows? Maybe we'll throw everybody a little something just for entering. VooDoo Chef High School Recipe Challenge will be announced. I think it is March 6th. I say I think because somebody will tell me where to go and what to do and what to say, and I'll get up there and I'll get to hand out the big check and look good doing it. Not really. Did I say look good? I meant to say look big. I'll look big passing out a good check. Willy Wonka that. I flipped him. And then once that's done, not that I've seen Willy Wonka. And once that's done, we turn right around and we get ready for VooDoo Underground. VooDoo Underground is going to be off the hook this year, guys. If you're a student out there watching and you're interested, jump on Insta at VooDoo Chef 13 and start throwing some noise up there and letting us know that you want to participate in VooDoo Underground. Currently, we're only taking one team of 2 from select high schools. So make sure your school is one that we select. It's a big day. Tomorrow we've got the so much stuff going on. Tomorrow we've got the we used to call it the halfway hangout or some stuff. Basically, I get bored and change shit around. We now call it Voodies Unite. And we change that because a lot of times we get other Voodies coming in and hanging out with us. Don't miss it every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. on Facebook at VooDoo Chef 13, Erik Youngs 13, and of course our YouTube channel. And once we're done, we do post the bites, the tastes over on TikTok and Instagram, just because it's how we do it. And of course, we got to thank Big Green Egg Heads of Tampa Bay for supporting us in all we do, powering that big green egg that I cook on. And of course, the boss of that big green egg is Flame Boss. Gotta throw a big shout out to both those guys, both Voodies, official ambassadors of VooDoo Chef, Sam Creighton and Dave Frosch. And this week, hey, make sure and keep Amy and Sam Creighton in your prayers. Little bit of life happened, and we need to make sure we're throwing a lot of positive vibes their way. Finally, we want to thank Carlos Villanueva of Eurobake for helping support the VooDoo Chef podcast that we do right here. Yeah, I know we got people in the green room sending me autistic Ed moments. They're telling me that TikTok is spelled wrong, and I know that, and it's spelled like that because I'm an old fan of Tic Tac Doe, and you know it's one of the, not that I watch that show with Wink Martindale, but or whoever the fuck it was. Thanks for that heads up. We will correct that ASAP. Carlos Villanueva, Eurobake. Thanks for helping not only power my GBPB, my garlic butter potato bun, but also the VooDoo Chef podcast and letting me and Big Eddie C hang out here, talk smack, and have our weekly guests on. Big Eddie C, I'm excited for this week's guest.
Likewise.
You know, coming up as a kid, I remember we would go back to my family's hometown, Erie, Pennsylvania, you know, the Mistake on the Lake. And we would go back. It felt like every summer, but it really wasn't, you know. Both my parents are from there, and their families, you know, Eastern European. It was not unusual up in that part of the world to be sitting around enjoying some pierogies of all different sorts. And when I started thinking of today's guest and you know, Empamamas and everything there, I just started remembering the first time I had it, you know, trying to relate and trying to make that relationship to food that I've had. And even though we, you know, later in life, it all just kind of starts to come together. But first time I had an empanada, I'm like, what the hell is this thing, right? And the only thing I could relate it to was that old school pierogi I used to eat, you know, but, you know, and then pierogies, onions and potatoes and man, nothing like that fucking ground beef with all those flavorings. And you know, and it's just a different way of life. And of course, fucking deep fried. Come on. Oh, come on. And all you people who are baking it out there, you know, I get it. You might not have a hood system, or get some money, get a hood system and deep fry that motherfucker. That's all I'm going to say. So flash forward to the first time I try Empamamas. You know what? We'll hold that thought. Let's go ahead and bring in our friend so she can hear it firsthand, even though she's, you know, critiquing and adding and slashing us from the green room. And it's okay. Nothing but love. Guys, welcome in our good friend, Miss Stephanie Swann. Stephanie, what is going on?
Hi, guys. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you A-okay, I think.
Awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't know what. I could read you loud and clear. And those text messages, I'm kidding.
Well, the chat option's not working for me, so if you need to talk to me, text me.
Ed tells me that every week. Yeah, I mean, well, he told me. I think you told me on Saturday for the first time. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that now. But Stephanie, while we're doing that, I'm really interested. Some of the, you know, our paths have crossed. I eat at your place. Love your place. We'll talk about that in a minute. But give us a little bit of your background. Are you a Tampa gal? Did you grow up here in Tampa? If not, where did you grow up? What was that like? And how did it lead towards food?
Okay, so I'm going to start with this. Is 13 your lucky number?
I love 13. Yes, I do. 13
is my lucky number too. So I got you there. I totally understand you a little bit more now. So yeah, I grew up here in Tampa. Went to Plant High School for high school. Grew up playing softball my whole life. And went to UF for school. And I actually lived in Gainesville God, I think 13 years total. So I actually stayed in Gainesville after school for a couple years. And then one day decided it was just time to move home, and really didn't know what I was going to do. But Empamamas was a thing in the back of my head. And Empamamas happened when I moved back to Tampa.
So who inspired you to cook and want to cook, and how did that come about?
You know, growing up, my mom's side of the family is Cuban. So I grew up just in a family that had dinner on the table every night. We were always cooking in the kitchen, dinner at my grandmother's a couple nights a week, especially on Sundays. And then, you know, after school, I ended up dating somebody for like 8 years. And I don't know what it was, but when we broke up, my creativity just kind of spiraled. And actually started making empanadas for country concerts. So when I was living in Gainesville, I started working with a friend who was an up and coming country artist. And I had to figure out how to get him on shows with like national. Oh, there you go. Look at that hat. Some shows with national artists. So I would reach out to venues. And let me go back. I bought a camera. To this day, I still swear I have no clue how to use like a professional camera. So I bought a camera and I started taking pictures at the shows. Well, somehow or another, the one good shot that I was able to like nail down was like low light concert photography. And I became pretty decent at it. So I would reach out to these venues that were like local across the state of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and you know, would find out that Easton Corbin or John Party or Dustin Lynch or Old Dominion were coming into town. So I would reach out to the venue owners and be like, hey, I can provide photography services for your event. But in exchange of paying me, I have this guy who would love to be a local opener for you. And got him on a ton of shows. So anyways, point being is that at these shows, we realized that there were all these artists that would come in and have no clue who this opener was, because they'd be playing at a smaller venue. They wouldn't bring somebody with them. And it would be hard to kind of start that conversation with them. You're there all day sound checking, and some of them are cool, some of them aren't. And what better way to branch a conversation than to bring food? So I had started making empanadas, I guess, a couple of weeks, months prior to that, and was taking them to, you know, friends' houses and tailgates, and everybody was telling me, you got to sell these things, you got to sell these things. So I started taking them to the shows, and one day at one of the shows, a friend was like, hey, Empamama, and he was wasted, by the way. And the next day I secured the domain, and which had actually expired 2 weeks prior. I bought the domain, and I secured the Twitter, the Facebook, and the Instagram at that time. And I think it was about 3 years before I actually officially did something with it.
Wow.
But that's how it kind of all started. And I was, you know, working at the same time for Hilton Hotels, and was in a management position with them. And so that's where a lot of my hospitality background comes from. But I always knew that I was destined to do something else. I didn't know what. I knew that I was going to be my own boss one day. So I really just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing it for other people. I was bringing millions of dollars into a hotel, booking this guy on, you know, with national country artists, you know, by basically just faking it while we made it, right?
Right.
And was, you know, just like, you know, if I can do this for other people, I can do this for myself. So I just did it. And I moved home to Tampa, and took about 6 months to put a plan together to, you know, build the truck and that sort of thing. And here we are.
So we started as a truck?
Started as a food truck.
Look at that. I didn't even know that. That's
You didn't
super
know that?
cool. No.
Really? Wow. Yeah, man. So the truck was, when I moved home to Tampa, I really was unsure if Empamamas was going to be a thing or real estate was going to be a thing. And I took some time to make that decision, and basically got into the food truck scene through a couple that had moved down from New Jersey that I was babysitting for, while I was kind of in limbo of figuring out my life, right? And started helping them. And I was like, you know, this might be a good option for me. It's my way of taking my product to people, not waiting for people to come to me. If a location didn't work, I could pick a new one. And it was a great marketing tool. So I thought that was the best avenue, and put a budget together and figured out a plan and got the truck built. It was, oh man, I gotta send you pictures. Talk about, we had hands down the nicest truck in Tampa Bay. I know
Oh,
there's
I'd
some
love
pretty
to see
nice
it.
trucks out there now, but at the time we had the nicest truck in Tampa. It was beautiful.
I would absolutely love to see it. And if you're just now tuning in, we're chatting with Stephanie Swanz from Empamamas and Muchachas. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to type in there in the chat bar, and we'll do our best to get them answered. Stephanie, so I got to ask, you mentioned going to UF and living in Gainesville. My first question, what was your degree in that led to hospitality and eventually, you know, entrepreneur restaurateur?
So originally I had gone in as, God, what was it? It was some kind of health. I don't even remember what I
You were
first
that
went in
certain
for.
about it, huh?
Yeah, I was, yeah, obviously. And then I took chemistry and I was like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work for me. So I changed my major to event management. And everybody used to make fun of me and joke that I was going to school to be a party planner, which ultimately you are. But for me, it really taught me a lot about, you know, planning for events and just becoming a planner, which has helped me, I think, in a lot of ways be very successful. But it was perfect for the food truck world, right? So everything I learned,
Right.
I applied to that. So event management. So UF College Health of Human Performance, they have a degree in recreation, parks, and tourism with a specialty in event management.
Well, one of my students actually went through and has that same degree. So
Oh yeah, cool stuff.
yeah, so yeah, super cool. And
Nice.
I believe, don't they have some sort of? No, that's USF. My apologies. In Sarasota related. They all get clouded up here. I blame everything on COVID these days. COVID. So super cool. So you come home and you start a food truck, and Empamamas is born. So what's that like? You know, I get a lot of students who, or even people who call me and say they want to start a food truck. I don't think they understand the work involved, and two, I don't think they understand that the potential cap of earnings based on space. Can you talk a little bit to those?
So I wouldn't necessarily say the cap on earnings is from space. I would say the cap on earnings is from opportunity. So I would tell anybody who wants to start a business, if they are certain and they are passionate and they have a plan and a model that's going to work, do it. Regarding food trucks specifically, I can't speak bad about it because obviously it worked for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of food truckers who are doing the same thing they were when I was as a food trucker, and they might be okay with that and content with that. That wasn't my plan. But I haven't seen a ton of food truckers grow. I've seen a few, but I haven't seen many. The tough part about the food truck world is the physical demand. You could have a shift from 11 to 2 or 11 to 3, but you're starting your day at 6 a.m. and ending your day at 6 p.m. You're picking up your truck, you're prepping, you're driving to your location, you're stopping for gas, you're setting up, you're cleaning, you're driving back, you're prepping for the next day, you're shopping for the next day, you're going home, you're doing your accounting, you're booking events, you are doing everything, right? As a lot of people would when you first start a business. The upside to food trucking is, like I said, we use it as a marketing tool. We were able to take our product to the people instead of letting the people come to us. I think there's a cap on earnings because you can only do so much with one truck and the availability that it has in the area, meaning the opportunities that are around. You can't just pull up on the side of the street like you do in New York and start selling food. You have to plan your events, whether they're events or small lunches at corporate facilities. So look, it works for me. Would I do it again? Even if I had 100 locations and somebody suggested it as a marketing tool, I would tell them hell no. It is just, I think there's a lot of liability too involved. You're driving around with 200-pound propane tanks going 60 miles per hour. You hit a rock and you're going ba-bump, and something can come loose. You're moving a kitchen that weighs thousands of pounds if you think about it in reality. So for me, it's a no. We actually sold the truck a couple years ago for that reason specifically. But look, if it's a good opportunity to start a business for sure. but it
So
has a
was
lot
your
of
goal
pros and
always
cons.
to go from truck to brick and mortar?
You know, I knew Empamamas was, I don't know how to explain this. I really don't know really what my goal was in the beginning. I knew that I wanted Empamamas to be known across the United States, and we're still working on that. But I can confidently say we're known around Tampa, so I'll take that as a huge win. I didn't know if that meant, through distribution and wholesaling, or if that meant through restaurants. But I can tell you, after being a food truck for a couple years and realizing how difficult it was, before my opportunity presented itself at Armature Works, I really was looking heavily at some real estate opportunities for a brick and mortar.
Nice. Hey, so Tyler Florence called me and asked me if I'd be on the next food truck race.
Yeah?
Does this mean you won't be my partner?
I'll do it. When is it?
So there is a price.
It's limited. It's limited, man. So no, but I also I'm not a pro at anything. I'm pretty decent at some things. And I think that's one of the things that, you bring the chef skills, I'll bring you my food truck knowledge and be a dynamic duo. So you let me know when it starts.
Oh no, I was just fucking around, but I say all the time, I have no interest to go on any of those shows. I'm too old, too tired. I suck.
Me too.
Just kidding. But I would do the food truck thing. I think that looks just fun. It looks enjoyable. And of course, I would love to go on guys' grocery games, but I'm too lazy to fill out the application.
So I'd also say this about Tyler Florence's show, though. Go drive a food truck for like 15 minutes and decide if you want to drive that thing. I mean, sometimes they drive across states,
I didn't say I'd be
right?
driving the truck. There's a team of 3.
Okay.
There's a team of 3. 2 people are going to work real hard.
Yeah, right. All right, I'm out.
2 people are going to work real hard on that team.
Right.
You've never been to a VooDoo event.
No, I'm out.
Let me show you my
Because
job.
clearly you're the one that's not working hard. So
Let me show you my job. This is what I do at VooDoo events, right, Ed?
Yeah, that's about right.
Wait, you were with the VooDoo team at Big Jig?
I was.
This is
I
what
was. We had a great time. I had the meat sweats probably about 3 hours in, but
I had the jack sweats about 10 minutes in.
You guys warned us. You're like, don't eat too much, right?
I did.
And of course, my first couple plates, I was so excited that I took more than one bite on some of the items, which
One to
you
not
can't
to.
do. You have to do no more than one. So, which is actually a really cool learning experience because Bubba, as you know, is my boyfriend. He owns Wicked Oak Barbecue.
One of my faves.
Competes professionally, and so we've gone to quite a few competitions, and it's nice to see the other side of things. So that was really fun. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Well, you can go ahead and mark your calendar now for October, and all the VooDoos out there listening, make sure you mark it now as well. October 29 will be next year's Pig Jig, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know how they're going to outdo this year because it was just fan-damn-tastic. We stayed for the whole event. Hootie, which you're not supposed to call him Hootie, Darius, the show was phenomenal. I mean, I don't who do they get to top that, Mr. Music, man? They're going to bring in Tim McGraw?
I think we need Luke Combs.
Who?
Luke Combs. He's in.
Who's that?
Dude, what?
I listen to Kiss.
Eddie.
And Buck Terry. Ed, who's Luke Combs?
Country act. He's pretty popular.
What's his best song?
I have no idea, dude. I'm kind of an alt country kind of guy, so like.
Steph, what's his best song?
I mean, I would say probably one of his longest reigning hits was Hurricane, which was one of his first hits that came out.
No, I never.
But I would also listen. If I did the lineup, I would probably do Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen, and Tyler Childers.
Well, some of those
that
folks.
would be mine.
I do like Tyler Childers.
He's incredible, like super not very well known to except music junkies, but you should check him out, Erik. He's
All right.
phenomenal.
So we might have a new top 3 tonight. If it were me writing the lineup, are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
Tim McGraw,
Okay.
Blake, and is this pie in the sky? We can wish forever whatever we want.
Sure.
Garth Brooks.
Oh, okay. Have you seen Garth live?
No, but it's like a Kiss
It's
concert.
incredible. Yeah, you got to go.
Oh.
You got to make that happen.
He says he wanted his shows to be like the Kiss shows that he saw as a kid. He wanted people to be not just entertained musically, but visually. He wanted to stimulate them as well. And I saw one. I saw a video, but I've never gone live. It just looked phenomenal.
I was out of breath the whole concert. Like, it was the best. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen. That, and I would say Zach Brown was probably one of the better shows I've ever seen. He did pretty good. He did really great, actually.
My daughter wants to go see Zach Brown this year.
They put on a really awesome show. Really great show.
My problem with country shows is, I like Kiss, right? I like Motley Crue. I like the visual. I like that as well. And I just, we saw Tim McGraw, and it's just like, yeah, the music's great, but not much show to watch.
Just honest. I hear you.
I don't drink beer. And if I drank this
whiskey
out there in that hot sun, make for a short day. Hey, let's go back. I want to learn more because I want to tell you how I learned about Empamamas.
Okay.
Who's the other? Your competition, the local guy over in
Mr.
Drew Park.
Empanada.
Mr. Empanada. My father-in-law used to love that place, and it was just because his wife wouldn't make him empanadas anymore. You start aging out of that desire to cook. Trust me, I know. And so Mr. Empanada would be a place where they would go and eat empanadas. So, you get one, you eat one. Younger Erik didn't really get too excited about that. I'd rather have, a plate of meat and potatoes or a big sandwich. And then I had a business partner who fucking loved that place. So anytime he'd come see me, he would bring me that. So, you start going, damn, this, stuff's pretty good when you get the cracker version, the cheeseburger instead of the, traditional. Not that there's anything wrong with the traditional, but my palate wasn't there at that time in my life. I just wanted what I know. And then all of a sudden, somewhere, I start hearing about you, and this is later down the road, and people just going, "Hey, have you had Empamamas?" No. I'm like, no. My wife would eat that. Me, not so much. Give me a cheeseburger. And finally, I get one of your empanadas, and I'm like, man, you know what? That's a really good empanada. Still at that time, I'm not driving for this. Not. It's just who I am. Nothing against you. Great product.
Okay.
And then I find myself at your store and at Armature, and I'm like, I'm with my kid. I'm like, oh shit, this is where the place is. And my kid goes, Pop, I told you. And I'm like, well, fuck, let's get one of everything. And she's like, you're so embarrassing. And she's so embarrassed. So we get one of everything and we start tasting these things. And I'm like, fuck, these are pretty damn good. Because we got the traditional. We tried the traditional first. I dogged you about your hot sauce. Why don't you have VooDoo? Oh shit. Oh shit. It's like a scary movie right there. I'm like, why are we using this hot sauce? And I don't even know which one it was because it didn't matter which one it was. It just wasn't VooDoo. So I'm like, why isn't VooDoo on the shelves here? And I'm just giving people a hard time. And then we go and we taste these things. And I'm telling my daughter, damn, these are pretty good. And she's like, Pop, I told you. Because now I got my kid telling me. And then she goes, you got to try the cheeseburger. I mean, it's got like pickles in it, right?
It does, yeah.
It's like, holy cow. It's like, all right, they're going after the white boy here. And I was like, fuck, that was good. And then I was so full I couldn't, and because you don't think these things are going to fill you up. They fill you up. I didn't even want to get into the chicken one. and so my kiddo ate that, and then I hadn't really gone back, but all these people talking about you guys and all this stuff. Flash forward to you opening Muchachas, and you notice I wear a few hats. I've got my.
Sorry,
Got my
Bubba's throwing our surround sound on while I'm in the middle of the podcast.
You're all good. Just
Can you hear it?
So I wear this hat.
All right.
I have about 3 versions of this hat. I wear VooDoo hats. I wear my Flame Boss hat, and I wear my Muchachas hat.
Love it.
And I'll wear my Muchachas hat out, and my wife will go, "Where are you going? Why are you wearing that? That's a girl's hat." I'm like, "That's a Muchachas hat."
I'll have to get you an Empamamas hat. It's the same hat, but with the Empamamas logo on it. I got you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wear very few hats, and I actually stole this from one of your employees. We traded hats and took pictures, and I said, "Give me your hat for a minute." And I took it and I put it on my head, and I put my hat on her head, and I go, "All right, we're staying like this." And she looks at your manager, and your manager goes, "It's okay, I'll get you another hat." And we took pictures, and I love it. I stole it. So if I owe you for this,
no, we're good.
But at Muchachas, I walked in, and my kiddo was telling me, because she loves your place. She's like, "Pop, you got to try the birria. You got to try the birria." So finally, I go down, and we go to dinner one day, and I am in love. I am absolutely in love. I've been down a couple times, and now I'm really pissed at you, because it's not like I'm going to Empamamas at Armature Works and Muchachas, over on Kennedy or in Soho.
I know.
They're fucking 2 stalls away from each other.
I know.
So now I go to Muchachas, and while I'm waiting, I go to Empamamas, and I order both, and I got to sit down and eat it fucking all. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So much, the 2.0. I talk about that all over the place. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Buffalo Chicken 2.0, right?
Yep.
It is fire. It is as good, if not better, than the cheeseburger.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll take that. Thank you.
Oh, it's amazing. So here's the pinnacle of it all. I had somebody. We ate at a mutual restaurant. We both have eaten at this place. A friend of mine, and he goes, "So what'd you think?" I'm like, "It was okay, man. It was just okay." And it hurt me to tell him that, because he was like, "Oh,
I'm so excited."
Yeah. And and we were driving together, and we were actually on our way to an event at Okinola. And he's like, "Seriously?" I go, "Dude, it was just okay." Now, Okinola, I would have parked around that side, got a closer walk, because I'm fat and lazy. I have a handicap stick, all that shit, But I said, "You know what? I street parked so that I came in the back door that you're not allowed to come in, so that I had to walk by Muchachas and Empamamas, and I ordered a birria. And while I was waiting, I walked over and got the empanadas, and I said, 'Here, motherfucker, this is what the shit's supposed to taste like.'"
Hell yeah.
He took one bite of your birria, and he's like, "Damn, that is pretty good." And you get 3 of them. So I ate one, he ate one, and he's doing like this. Looking down at that third one, I'm like, "Dude, eat it. We're going to a fucking cocktail reception. You eat that, I'll drink over there."
That's awesome.
But your food is what it's supposed to taste like. It's fresh. It's made with love, all across the board. I just absolutely love it. And all of that, just so I could ask you, how the hell did you come up with the extension of Muchachas? And I'm going to be the bad guy. Why not just throw it in the same kitchen as Empamamas?
Because why not have 2 opportunities at the hottest location in Tampa? I mean, to have 2 separate businesses there is a no-brainer, right?
I mean, who's going to eat at both of those places on the same day?
I know a couple people.
Every time I go.
So interesting story. When COVID hit, we were Armature Works actually closed, so we couldn't open up in our own kitchen to run Uber Eats and such out of. We
Oh my
moved
God.
over. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but we actually moved to King of the Coop temporarily, and
So
at
you
that
were
time,
ghosting out of King of the Coop.
Yep. I used it as a commissary and ended up getting like a catering license, and the Department of DBPR really helped with us and made it happen for us. So
You were surviving.
yeah, like I called them and immediately were like, how do I transfer my license here temporarily, etc. And they just were really flexible and really helped us.
That's
through
very
that too.
nice to hear.
Yeah, they're not our enemy. Just if
Absolutely not.
they're really not. So we moved over to King of the Coop, and I was the only vendor at that time from Armature Works still operating, and our rent was still due, right? So the way it goes, I'm not
The
going to go into
building is
detail.
closed and they're still collecting rent.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. They have a business to run. I mean, at the end of the day, you still have rent due. So I had a lease, and I didn't want to put anything in jeopardy, and I wanted to make sure I paid my rent. So my goal with staying open was just to reduce my rent, because I was not making anywhere near what we would make at Armature Works. So I knew how difficult it was for me to still keep paying my rent when I was still open. So I approached the ownership and said, "Hey, look, if an opportunity pops up, let me know. I would love to open another concept." And they were like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't really care." And they were like, "Well, how about this?" And so I presented them this concept, and they were like, we don't, whatever. We're gonna do something ourselves. And I was like, "Y'all, I feel like a kid who just woke up on Christmas and Santa didn't show up, right? Like I was so excited." And I was like, "All right, well, if something changes, still keep me in mind, please, etc." So they came back like 2 weeks later and they're like, "We think an opportunity is opening up. Would you be interested?" And I'm like, "Sure. What are you guys thinking?" I have like 5 or 6, concepts that I've, doodled around with and conceptualized a bit, but nothing, crazy. Nothing's been done with them by any means. So I went to the owners. I was like, "Look, what do you feel like is missing at Armature Works?" And they really wanted a more authentic taco concept. So the reason I have tacos at Empamamas is because let me go back. Empamamas was slated to be a rotating vendor. I was only supposed to be there for 4 months. Did you know that?
Wow. No.
And okay, so let me sidebar for a second here. So we were supposed to only be there for 4 months as a rotating vendor. Well, 2 days after the market opened, there was an issue with one of the vendors. They were out, and Armature Works needed to fill that spot. So they called me on a Friday at 11 a.m. and were like, "We need you to move in early. Can you make that happen tomorrow?" And I'm like, well, I haven't gone shopping. I have 2 employees, and if we're gonna do this, I want to be a full-time vendor here. I had been working them for months on trying to be a full-time vendor, and they're like, "All right, well, if you add tacos to your menu, we'll do it." So that's how tacos came about at Empamamas. So going back to Muchachas, I was like, "What do y'all want?" And they were like, "We want some more authentic tacos. We want meat, onion, cilantro on top of them." And I'm like, "Okay, I get it, but that's going to be a hard sell, and I need to make sure with, it's an awesome location, rent's not cheap, and I needed to make sure I was making money." So I had, obviously I try to stay as socially, or I try to be on social media as much as I can to, follow trends and such. And I saw that queso tacos were, this trend that was insane. In town at that time, I'd gone to a couple places. My favorite at that time was Tacos Las Californias. I think that they do an incredible job. Now I also think that I think it's Los Chapos Tacos. They're pretty good as well. But
Where's that one?
that's in Ybor. That's probably one of my more favorite ones out of anybody. But those 2 are probably, I think, the other 2 best in Tampa. I mean, aside from Muchachas, obviously, but they are really, really, really good. They both businesses do a great job. But So I approached him and I was like, look, I'll do these tacos, but I gotta add more to the menu. I'm gonna do the queso tacos. I'm gonna add burritos, give people the option to really build their own tacos. And with the setup in that space that we had in the stall, it just works, right? So you walk up, you order your food, you go through the line, kind of Chipotle style a little bit, and you check out and you're on your way. So it's been nuts and crazy, but we basically signed up for the deal before we had even recipe tested anything, and decided to do taco concept. And then it just 3 months later, I was open for business. So the brand, the marketing, the construction, the recipe development, took us about 90 days, and we opened, which was insane if you think about it. All in the middle of a pandemic. So that was crazy.
From conception to open.
Wow.
90 days.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So worked, and that was also like prime time rebuild time for us getting back on our feet. We'd really just gotten to 100% again. So people have to realize, like, when COVID happened, I let my entire staff go. I let them go except my 4 managers, but I let them go because I wanted them to go apply for unemployment immediately. I didn't want them to wait. I wasn't gonna let them linger on and wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks, figure out how long this thing was gonna last, and not get a paycheck. If we were going to open in 3 weeks, I'd rehire them all back. But if it was going to be longer than that, which is what news sources were telling us at the time, I was like, you know what? Go apply for unemployment. This is what it's for. Go do it. So we brought most of our team members back. Some didn't want to come back, but it was still a rebuilding phase for us. So we're rebuilding at Empamamas, opening Muchachas, and also opening Wicked Oak Barbecue 30 days prior. So Wicked Oak opened, I think, September 1st or September 6th, 7th, something like that. And we were November, I think, 12th October 12th at, I think, Muchachas. So crazy time.
That's what we do in our industry, though. Just drive.
I love it. That's the conceptualization and really seeing something come to fruition is what really excites me about what I do. So that's my entrepreneur in me. But
well, I got to tell you, I think you're right. You have the best tacos in town.
Thank you.
I live far away from you. I drive downtown as little as possible, but it's not unusual for me to meet my kiddo down there and grab some tacos. I absolutely love them, and you got to keep putting them out. You might have to close the empanada shop though, because I can't eat it both anymore. I just can't.
Well, I'm gonna hopefully be there for as long as possible. So
I hope so as well. And for everybody out there, make sure you check them out. It's funny. I asked you for your social media contact, and you send me 2. And it makes sense that you have 2, but I'm like, holy cow!
Do you want mine?
No, I'm just sitting here going, how the fuck do you keep up with all that?
I don't. I have somebody that does it for me now, which is the best decision you can make, is find somebody that's really, really good at doing it. So that's how I keep up with 2, just so you know.
Well, everybody can check you out at the social media links we're posting here, and make sure you log on, like, follow, share. Remember, if you're going to add or slash them, just don't be hateful. They're good people. Throw them love. Don't be slashing nobody.
Oh, we don't like mean people. We really don't put up with them either. So
mean people suck.
Yeah, mean people suck, and
Mean people do suck.
Yeah, it's bring some good energy or don't bring it. So
absolutely, if you ain't got love. I like to say GTFO. We can't tell you what all the letters stand for, but the F means fun. All right, hey, let's have some fun here. In our industry, it is not unusual for us to be on the go and running around. And one thing that I like to ask some of the restaurateurs that jump in, and everybody listening, feel free to play along as we go through our top 3. I remember coming home one day, driving home. We were going from the restaurant to my chef's house, and I don't know what the fuck we were doing, but we were doing something. And he says, I'm hungry. I'm like, we just left the restaurant. He goes, it's all right. I know we're just leaving. We're going to stop on the way home and get a Big Mac. And we stop at the restaurant and we grab Big Macs. And I'm just thinking, it's not unusual. We get out late. We get out, a lot of times after hours, and things aren't always open. And, you hit the drive-thru. You eat where you can. You grab some quick food. So I thought it would be fun today to do our top 3 fast food restaurants. And I know Ed's going to tell me we've done this before. And I know we have. We've done it with Greg Baker, and we've done it with a couple other chefs. But it's always, I think it's always fun and intriguing, and it tells us a little bit about you. And of course, this isn't, nobody's going to lock you in stone and go, hey, you said. If you were naming them today, what would your top 3 fast food restaurants be? We'll go 3, 2, 1. We'll start with you on number 3, go around the horn, then come back around. And everybody playing along, feel free to type in your top 3 as we go along too. Stephanie, what's your top 3?
Number 3 would be McDonald's.
McDonald's coming in at number 3. That's a surprise to me. Big Eddie C?
Oh, man. This is a tough one because
I know it's not Culver's.
Ooh, forgot about Culver's.
We got in trouble at Culver's. Ed, me, Greg. Yeah, it wasn't a good night.
I'd probably have to say, at least ideally, like if it's spot on, because every fast casual place I've been to, they're hit or miss anymore. I would say, I know it's probably sacrilege, at least how it was, Chipotle.
Ooh,
when they were, but when they're dead on, and sometimes they're just dead. Like there's a bunch of zombies working in there.
And we're like so in sync. It's almost like we're 2 girlfriends, and we'll leave that one at that. My number 3 is Chipotle too, but it isn't really Chipotle. When I started thinking about this, I went all the way back, man, probably the late 80s, and I was thinking a Tex-Mex cantina that used to be on the corner of Memorial, Hillsboro, Sheldon, where they're now building a Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
and that led me to Chipotle, because I can't say Tex-Mex cantina from when I was fucking 19. Well, I could. But Chipotle, when it's on, man, there's nothing like it. It's great. But
I don't know about you, but when I go to the one, there's one not far from me on Gandy and Dale Mabry.
Yep.
I think some of them know me in there because it's probably Robinson kids. Man, they load that fucking bowl up for me.
I get that.
Maybe you think I'm gonna beat the shit out of them or something. I'm not, but
I go to
my
this place
Chipotle
called.
horror story.
Go ahead.
Oh
So I love Chipotle. Like I kind of think it's more quick service. So had that been a thing, it probably would have been my number 3, just so you know. Like I am obsessed with Chipotle. I still eat there even after this experience. But I went to that same Chipotle and I was waiting in line, and I'm like coming from a food truck event. I'm geared out in Empamamas stuff, right? And normally I keep my mouth shut when I notice stuff in the food business, right?
Right.
Or I tell you confidentially. Well, I'm waiting to get food, and one of the employees walks up on the line, and she doesn't have gloves on, and I'm like, okay, no big deal, but she wasn't touching anything. Well, she grabs she puts her hand in the bag and grabs 2 taco shells, and I don't notice it at this point, but she doesn't have gloves on. That's what I do notice. Well, she like goes down the line, and then I notice her big old blue Band-Aid on her left thumb, and she digs into the cheese and like throws it right on, and I'm like, I get out of line like an asshole, and I'm like, you gotta change that, because I really want to eat here, and I'm not eating around your Band-Aid, right? So she's like, or it's for me, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't matter?
Oh,
it totally matters.
Jesus.
Like, please do.
oh fuck.
So anyway, so I still eat Chipotle. I still love Chipotle. I don't care. Like you said, the experiences sometimes they're on or they're not, right? So I still go back every time.
I went to my little local Chipotle, and I just stood there online, and I'm watching, and I'm watching, and I don't move. And the manager, John, great guy, he's sitting there talking to me. He goes, "Sir, whatever was next in the build there, I don't know." He goes, "Sir." I go, "Hey, if I have to pay for the ticket, I will." He goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, I'm watching the show." And he goes, "I don't get it." I said, "I'm watching the show. Your guy back there making the guacamole has now had 5 chips that he's dipped in the guacamole, and he's eating back there. And I just want to see how many he's going to fucking eat. If I need to buy a ticket for the show, I will. But what I ain't going to buy is that fucking guacamole."
Oh, man.
So John leaves, takes the guy. They go back behind closed doors, reprimand in private. But the guy comes out and makes fucking, the evil eye at me. And then John tries to tell me, we teach our people to taste their food. I go, that motherfucker was eating, dude. You wash your hands. You taste and you wash your hands. And, you got to take the gloves off, wash your hands, put new gloves. Dude, don't try to fucking play me. And he goes, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck off." John and I were buddies after that.
That's awesome.
But I still eat a Chipotle. Very rare, though, because when they suck, it is the worst.
The worst.
All right, let's go number 2. Big Eddie C, let's start with you.
Oh. Whew. Rough one, man, because I think if you had asked me this like some time ago, I would have said something different, because a lot of places have there's places that have come out of nowhere and places that have just laid a goose egg. Had to think. And if you asked me in 10 minutes, I can tell you different shit. Number 2 is probably right across the street, man. DDQ. But I say this because there's one thing they have there that I absolutely love, and this is going to sound like, I'm just going to go like, here's my balls. Blackberry jasmine iced tea there is fucking unreal, man. I mean, it's just good.
I think we locked up.
No, I just like them. They generally they do a good product. Sides have been good, whether it's fries or zucchini fries. Tenders are good. Their spicy sandwich, the real spicy one, not the 2 tenders with buffalo sauce, hot as fuck. It was like eating sand spurs, man. It was like incendiary sauce.
I might have to go back. And they got spicy tenders now.
They do. They're hot, but that spicy breast sandwich was murder, man. Murder on a bun.
I might have to go there and try it tomorrow. Steph, what's your number 2?
So not local anymore, which is really sad, but I'm a huge fan of Whataburger.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever eaten there.
We used to have 3 of them in Gainesville, and like my last year or 2, I would say in the Gainesville area, 2 of them closed, and then 1 was left out in I think Waldo. I don't know if you know where Waldo is, but
oh yeah.
Yeah, Waldo's like where every single police officer seems to work and pull people over. But Whataburger for sure.
Wow.
I love Whataburger.
No Burrito Brothers?
Burrito Brothers, I actually never went to Burrito Brothers. I mean, they closed when I was there too.
We had one here.
That's long gone.
There was one here out in Carrollwood. I had it. It was okay. It wasn't like, it didn't knock my socks off.
It's because you weren't drunk after a football game.
And a drive-through till 3 a.m. Right.
Oh, okay.
And that was Burrito Brothers.
That was the novelty. It's New York pizza in Soho.
100%. Yep.
Gotcha.
All right. This is like Planet Fitness. It's a judgment-free zone. My number 2, Long John Silver's Taco Bell combo.
Oh shit.
The best of both worlds on a fucking dreadful Sunday afternoon when it's raining and ugly and you don't feel like fucking doing a damn thing except watching shitty TV.
Oh, dude.
I remember to eat Long John Silver's. I don't do seafood anyway, so.
I remember when you told me about that one. I'm like, it's a Long John Bell. And you're like, dude, you gotta go there and get both. Okay. I don't know about the one by you, but we ate at the one on Fowler.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was
where? Huh?
There's one on Fowler. It's in there with the A&W. Okay, so you do know. We ate there at that one when I went to the doctor for my back, and stopped on the way home. And I think Gina took one bite, and she's like, "I can't anymore." And so I ate hers and mine, and I shouldn't have done it because it was. I'm not sure if there was any fish in there.
No.
A lot of grease, a lot of batter. My stomach.
It's a grease and batter souffle that tastes like fish.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's just fish flavored batter.
And it's so fucking good. And then you follow it up with some fucking Doritos Locos Tacos, and it is what it is. Hey, let's just go number one and get off my ass, all right? Oh, Stephanie, bring it home. What's your number one?
I'm going to go Chick-fil-A all day long.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, God. Big Eddie C. Don't do it.
No, I got to go with the OG of all this shit, man. McDonald's.
Right there with you again. McDonald's, my number one. And, Stephanie, Chick-fil-A is number one in my house. So much so that they don't even ask me anymore. They just, we're going Chick-fil-A. Do you want to go somewhere else and get you something?
Listen, from a food perspective, I think it's consistent. I like consistency. I like that I can get a cheap, quick meal and have good service.
Wait, did you say cheap?
I mean, it's not bad. It's under $10.
What are you eating? A kid's 4-pack nugget?
Is it? Yeah, it's under $10.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, let me let y'all in on a little secret.
What's that?
When you order these days at McDonald's, you can use 2 discounts. So one, I use the receipt from the day before, and I write in 7 random fucking numbers, so it's buy one, get one free on the sandwich. And then you can also use an app deal, which I use for whatever the fuck it is, free fries, dollar fries, whatever it is. That's how you get out of there for cheap. They don't give you any shit. Trust me, my wife knows, and 5 more minutes at McDonald's, she'd be a bench, okay? And so they told her you can use both the voice coupon for buy one, get one free sandwich and an app deal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Look at that.
Go ahead. I miss the all day breakfast. They stopped doing that, and that was my jam.
That pissed me off. I did like an egg muffin in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm an all day breakfast kind of girl. So
there's this place called Waffle House that just fucking rocks it.
Man, there's not like that sausage biscuit though. Come on. McDonald's does breakfast right. I don't care what anybody says. You can judge me. Anybody can judge me all they want. McDonald's has great breakfast. You
know what? It's nostalgia. It's consistency, like you say. It is probably my go-to. A double cheeseburger with extra ketchup and extra onions. It's quick. It's easy. It's on the fly. That and a large unsweet tea will hold me over to wherever I gotta go.
Yep, definitely.
That's why McDonald's my number one too. I love doing the top 3. It just gets us some fun stuff. But what's even more fun is putting our guests on the spot, Stephanie, and I hope you're ready. We're going to put you on the spot and ask you our final 5 questions. The final 5 is just 5 random questions that we ask everybody to learn a little bit more about them. You don't have to worry. There's no right, no wrong. Well, maybe 2 wrong. We just hope you won't get those 2 wrong. But like I said, it'll help us learn a little bit more about you. And we've changed it up this week a little bit, Big Eddie C. So we're going to keep you on your toes too.
Okay.
Question number 1, and maybe we'll have more than 5 today. Who knows? What was your favorite television program as a child?
Ooh. Like how old we talking?
Well, you define it.
Probably Saved by the Bell.
What?
Come on.
Oh, hell, no, that's my show.
All right.
No, not that I was watching People Puzzler the other night, but you know, we started. My nephew worked on that show for a little bit, and then we started talking about Leah Remini, and I told Angelina, goes, I remember her when she was on whatever that Scientology documentary was.
Mhm.
I said I remember her when she was Carosi's daughter on Saved by the Bell, and she's like, she was on. Wait a minute, you watched Saved by the Bell? I'm like, no. And but yeah, man, that was a great show. So did you watch all the extras and bonuses and the
Of
wedding?
course. The
Oh,
wedding. The wedding was like the best. It was like this great reunion.
Never
No?
seen.
You know,
Oh, my
Screech
goodness.
died a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was a weirdo,
Yeah.
but nobody deserves to die because they're a weirdo.
No, I agree.
I know a lot of weirdos. Question number 2: what's your favorite movie?
Oof, probably The Notebook. I am a hopeful romantic at heart, and
The Notebook. Never seen
The
it.
Notebook. What?
That's not unusual for me
Oh,
not to
it's
see a
such a
movie.
good movie. Bubba cried. Don't tell him I told you, but he cried.
He's
Oh,
listening. He's
my
around
goodness.
town. Speaking of Bubba, what the fuck is with that big ass fucking sandwich he's selling?
Listen, move over Mickey D's talking about McDonald's. The
Half a
fucking
slab of ribs.
Not only that, but he's like, it's going viral on social media right now. So
Jesus.
it's a half slap of ribs on a custom Cuban roll made by Fido's Bakery here in Tampa.
Right, all those
And
fucking pickles.
pickles, red onion, sweet sauce on top of it. They debone the ribs, and let me tell you, I'm not like I'm a really kind of weird picky meat eater. Fun fact about me, I don't really love eating meat off the bone.
Same.
Yeah, I prefer like a boneless chicken breast over, a fried bone-in chicken breast.
Same.
I'll do wings, and I used to be really weird about ribs. I would eat them every now and then. I've eaten more ribs since I started dating Bubba than I have my entire life. They are incredible. He really does a good job with his ribs. So
They're amazing.
they're amazing. They really are. He does a great job with everything he does. But my best barbecue, I think, in Tampa. Hands down.
Have I told you guys about the burn ends on Friday?
Stop.
I haven't had them yet. Fuck y'all.
Dude, you have to go
Taliban.
before 2:00 though. They'll be gone after that. They
But
sell out so
you're
fast.
Taliban, Ed. What are you doing? What are you doing Friday, Ed? Let's go.
Go.
Well, I have that thing called a job.
You have a lunch hour. What school are you at that day? It's right up the road from Lato.
No, I'm at Robinson, but
Mm.
I ain't above.
It's right around the corner from Robinson. Only about 14 miles.
You can Uber it. I don't know if they'll go that far, but
I could easily put it this way. It would probably work because I've gone down that way. I hop on the crosstown, get off on
Yeah.
Florida, and head right there. And it's maybe 15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah. And you
So
can
they sell out.
call ahead and put an order in
Okay, so they sell out early. Shit.
early.
Fuck.
Yeah. They're so good.
The burn ends are just insane.
And that's
Yeah.
a huge credit on the burn-in sauce to our pitmaster Derek, who it was a really strong collaboration on those. So without that sauce, I don't think they'd be as good as they are. They're freaking amazing.
Derek's insane too, and I haven't seen Derek in a hot minute. Can you do me a solid? Can you let him know? I don't know if he knows or not. Can you give him the Iggy? The Bucks beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years
Jesus
ago.
Christ.
Just let
Dude,
him
he
know.
was at our house for that party. He was so pissed off. Next thing we know, Bucks won, and we were like, "Where's Derek?" He like literally ghosted out. He was not having it.
Yeah, just let him know. I don't know if he knows that or not. All right, let's keep going here. Favorite movie, The Notebook, leads us to the next question. Popcorn or candy?
Oof. Popcorn mixed with candy?
I would take it.
Is
There's
that an
no wrong
option?
answer. No wrong answer, except
Extra butter, sour candy.
so when you do the butter, do you put the straw down in the popcorn and attach that to the butter thing so you get the butter all the way down to the bottom?
Never tried that trick.
Me neither.
Okay.
Never
Coke or
tried that
Pepsi?
trick. Oh, Coke. Coke
Oh,
Zero.
thank God. Somebody had to be exited.
They got the gate.
Yeah, not allowed
Yeah,
back
absolutely not.
ever again. Bourbon or beer?
whiskey.
What kind?
I'm a huge Jack girl. I love Jack Daniels. And I really, really like my new thing is Fireball on the Rocks.
Have you
I
had
love cinnamon whiskey.
Jack
Or
Fire?
Jack Fire, yeah. Or Jack Fire.
Because
I
Jack
think
Fire is made with real whiskey.
I don't feel as shitty when I drink Jack Fire. But I will say this, I really don't drink much anymore. I'm not a huge drinker. It takes me about 17 days to recover from like 3 drinks because my body can't handle it for some reason anymore. So no, not really, but something like that.
Same. I'm the exact same. Have you had Woodford?
I've not. No, I think I did. I think Bubba won a bottle at a competition, and I had some of it. It was good.
It is the goods. All right, so here's another one of those trick questions. To what temperature do you take your steak?
You're not gonna like me after this one.
Well, let's just go to the next question. We don't want to have to exit you. We like you.
Yeah, no. Let's go to the next question.
What's your favorite cuss word?
I say fuck a lot.
Okay.
I try,
That's one word that I steer clear of.
I do, but I try to do it around people that
Everybody?
understand me. No, I try to be tactful, but that's probably my. But I use it as an expression, not like an "f you, buddy." Like I'm just like so freaking cool, like that's.
Yeah. I get you.
So.
Roller coaster or Ferris wheel?
Roller coaster. I'm afraid of heights. Roller coaster.
What's your favorite song?
Oof.
Do you feel like you're doing a slam book from middle school right now?
Yes, I have too many favorite songs. Depends on the genre. Right now, one of my favorite songs is Cody Johnson's "Till You Can't." Tyler Childers' "I'm Yourn." You have to listen to this guy. He's awesome. Yeah, depends on the genre.
If I had to answer that, I think I would have said Pretty Boy Floyd's remake of Toast of the Town.
Okay. I don't know, man. I'm such a music junkie. I don't really have one favorite. Can't help you with that one.
I just threw the most obscure 80s hair metal band that I could think of your way. Although they will be playing at Creatures Fest in May in Nashville, Tennessee, along with Ace Frehley, Bruce Kulick, Vinnie Vincent, with a special appearance by Peter Criss.
I know none of those people. Is that bad?
That's a mean lineup right there. That's a mean lineup right there. Neil Davis, great job putting that together. All right, here's your last question, and think long and hard about this. What is Stephanie Swann's death row meal?
Ooh, not hard. Can I put it together?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Annie's white cheddar boxed mac and cheese. Cheddar biscuit, the organic kind. Cheddar biscuits from Red Lobster. Chicken tenders and fries, open to where they're from. Wouldn't hate them from Guthrie's, Chick-fil-A. Outback I used to love. They changed their tenders. I'm not a fan of them anymore. Balamia steak that my mom makes, breaded balamia steak. A bowl of cilantro lime rice from Chipotle. And carrot cake from the Cake Girl.
Wowzers, that's a meal right there.
Listen, they say the longer your meal takes, the more it gets delayed. So
Where's the Cake Girl?
Dude, so actually one of the food truckers that I was thinking about earlier, I was successful in their endeavors was the Cake Girl. She has a location in Carrollwood. If you look up her cakes, she is one of the most artistic cake designers, I think, here in Tampa. She also specializes in mini cupcakes, but let me tell y'all, she has this carrot cake that is a sheet cake, and there has been nothing that I've tried, and carrot cake's my jam. Oh, let me go back. I would probably throw in some Bacon Babes chocolate chip cookies with that and some Oreo ice cream to my death row meal. But her carrot cake is hands down the best dessert. It's probably in my top 3 favorite foods ever. And
Look
I'm
at
not
that.
a I'm not a
Wow.
sweets person.
You
And
know,
Carol would go get it. Trust me on that.
and
Just
they're
order
the
4 of them.
they're the nicest people on the planet.
Oh, so you met Kirby and Christina?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, super nice people. But again, I'm gonna have to say I'm mad at you. You and your Oreo ice cream. That's one of my jams. But I eat Oreos mashed up inside of espresso ice cream. Have you ever had that?
Ooh, I have not.
Go to
But
Cold Stone and get it done.
espresso is a really good additive for chocolate chip cookies too. You ever tried that before?
Our number one seller is Dirt Espresso Rub. We put that on top of our peanut butter chocolate chip cookies.
Yum.
We'll have to
Yeah,
get
no.
some.
You know what my favorite Oreo ice cream used to be? They don't make it anymore, but farm stores used to sell ice cream.
Yes, they did.
And they had
Oh,
some
yeah.
of the best ice cream, in my opinion. Used to be a huge fan of that.
And I think there was a Larry's ice cream.
Never tried it.
Larry's. I think it was Larry's.
Man,
It
you make
was
me want ice cream right now.
in Town and Country. COVID. Just Oreo ice cream is phenomenal, but I really love coffee or espresso ice cream with Oreos mashed up inside. It is insane. I think you can even buy it in the freezer section now. Go try it on for size. After talking tonight, it might not be my death row meal, but it's definitely going to be my meal sometime within the next couple days. And that's some birria, some cheeseburgers, some 2.0s. You know, mad props to your crazy success here in the Tampa community. Not just your restaurant success, but the success in giving back and helping others. I've seen you do it. I've seen Bubba do it firsthand. You guys are rock stars in the community, and everybody needs to make sure they log on, check out all the social media tags here. More importantly, stop by Armature Works, hit up both shops, same day. Same day. It can be done. Hit me up, Big Eddie C, and I'll meet you out there. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And looks like I'm going to be seeing you soon, right? Either way.
Yeah, I think it's next Tuesday. We have a face-to-face. True?
Yes. Are you okay with me bringing my F&B director and my administrative director with me?
Your F&B, your fucking boss is coming?
Food and beverage director. I know you know that.
You can bring anybody you like.
They are both, I think, would be a really fun dynamic to have them join us. So
you can bring anyone you like, and hang tight. We can talk more about that once we tap out here. But guys, make sure you check out Steph at Ola Muchachas on social media. There's a dot between that and Empamamas. Throw the hearts, the likes, the shares. Most importantly, get out there and share that food because it is that damn good. Till next time, guys. Thanks for checking in.
thanks, y'all.